Hi, everybody. This is Melissa, your free-range psychic, back from the land of Oz. I so appreciated everybody's kind comments and concern. They really helped me as I was dealing with the difficulties of not having any electricity in what felt like the dead of winter, because it went down to like 18 degrees at night, and I survived it, but it was really frightening. And yeah, the people out west too were experiencing something similar, and oh my God, it's crazy town. Here we had like in Ann Arbor, where I am, we had massive ice and wind, and trees fell down, and transformers blew up, and there were hundreds and thousands of people without power. Some not getting it on until last Tuesday, even Wednesday, and it happened Wednesday night, or the week before last Wednesday. So insanity. Plus, then we had another huge snowstorm. We got 9 inches of snow just the other day, and people lost power again, but thank God I did not lose power. The weather, is just so unstable. So we'll see what happens in the future, but I'm at home and I have power and heat, and I'm so grateful for light, for electricity, and just having a safe place to be that is my home. Well, today, as you can see from the intro, I'm going to do a reading on Trump versus DeSantis. And I'm using more of like a column layout. My guides wanted me to do it this way, where we have Trump on one side and then we have DeSantis on the other side, and it's going to explain the different energies, and then we're going to have a glimpse at the future. And but there's one card that is really clarifying this reading, and that is the Lovers. So this is Trump lifting up DeSantis as he was running for governor and getting more and more attention in Florida and nationally too, for the Republican Party. Probably a frequent guest, I assume, initially at Mar-a-Lago, and by the end of this relationship, it's the Lovers reverse. So whereas Trump lifted up DeSantis, now Trump is going to bring DeSantis down, because Trump, being a classic malignant narcissist, egomaniac, will not allow somebody to step in and become the new leader of MAGA and the new leader of the Republican Party. It's just not going to happen as far as he's concerned. So he's going to, for what I guess I'm trying to say also is the intimacy, all the information where the skeletons are buried regarding DeSantis, and Trump was part of that and knows all of that. So he has a lot of ability to bring that out subtly, both covertly and overtly, I should say, subtly and in your face, to do this. And this is just beginning. We haven't seen nothing yet regarding how Trump intends to shred DeSantis. Well, Trump is represented by the Emperor. Oh, I forgot. I always like to introduce my cards because, you all know what they are. But for the first time watcher, I always am curious about tarot cards that other readers use. So just as a courtesy, I use the Ciro Marchetti Gilded Tarot, and you can find them under the name of the Easy Tarot. You're not going to find them, I don't think, under a Gilded Tarot, but Easy Tarot. And I at the end of the reading, there is an oracle card for us from the Sacred Destiny deck by Denise Linn, one of my favorites. Let us start again. The Emperor represents Trump, who has already been I want to say, I always like to say in quotations, president, or I used to call him resident, because I have never believed that he was legitimately president. I have always said that I think the Russians planted him there by hook or by crook, and we were deceived, and they had enough of their ducks in a row, so to speak, to keep him in power. But he was never legitimately elected. Really, Hillary Clinton won the election. And if not for a lot of rigging of the votes and mischief that went on in the key electoral states, including the one I'm in, Michigan, Hillary Clinton for sure would have won the electoral votes too. So this is Trump. And this is how he perceives himself. He is the grand emperor of all that he surveys. He is a grand emperor of MAGA, and a lot of his energy goes into continuing to be perceived as this. But he has competition, right? Because the one that he lifted up, the other Florida resident, is Governor Ron DeSanctimonious, as Trump loves to call him, or Ron DeSantis, who considers himself a king. He's a king of wands on his throne. But it's interesting if you look at the direction that he's looking, which is to my left, you're right. In the column reading, here's Trump. Well, he's eyeing this position. He's eyeing this position with the desire to usurp it so that he then becomes emperor himself. He wants to be emperor. In the second tier of the column, here's Trump as the leader of MAGA, and he leads with hatred. He leads with anger, with resentment, with fear, with the political trick of persuading his followers by saying there's going to be no America anymore if we don't take America back. And by taking America back, he really means, as we know, taking it back by violence, by force. Because there's no other choice. We have to fight for our rights, for our freedom. And we do this by insurrection. So he is the leader of the general of MAGA, the MAGA army. Juxtaposed to him is the Knight of Swords. So this is also DeSantis with the same type of same type of political jargon, but he's even honing in more. See, the Knight of Swords is holding this sword, and there's like a light that looks like a kind of or makes a cross. So he's taking it even further than Trump, saying that not only are we fighting to keep America's freedom, and by freedom he means the freedom for white people, especially white men, to do whatever the heck they want and to have all the power, and to also, and this is white heterosexual men, believe that they are pure and of superior blood, and and to revision history to make it look like they never did anything wrong. You know, slavery really, all the slaves just wanted to be slaves. You know, the whole thing is the whole prior history is a hoax, and it makes our children feel bad. So we're going to revise that, and we're going to bring back Jim Crow, really, and whitewash the whole thing so that we're looking good, we're feeling good about ourselves, and we don't have to deal with all this talk about racism or social injustice, etc. Because it's against, if anything, in his argument and in Marjorie Taylor Greene's argument and the rest of the America First people, it's us that have been maligned. It's the I want to say, diminishing white race that is in danger. They're the ones whose rights are being violated and who need, assistance from the courts, etc., to defend themselves, because they're the ones at risk. They're everybody's prejudiced against them. And this is DeSantis in his role as governor, leading the way for banning books on and anything, I guess, he finds controversial that would upset the Caucasian evangelist, America First Christian male. So don't say gay, no trans, whatever is going to be the filter for only allowing this kind of nationalistic white supremacy kind of mentality. What is the thing that? Oh yeah, I now remember the thing that just kind of floated up in the news, that one of the Florida congressmen wanted to introduce a bill that if a blogger was critical of DeSantis and his administration, they would have to get on a list. They would have to register. So it's that double speak of, we're fighting for our freedoms, but that is reliant on taking all of the rest of your freedoms away. And it's clearly there, but I for some reason it makes sense to their followers, and it's called cognitive dissonance. I think when two opposing ideas are, you have to hold them in your mind and believe them both to be true at the same time, and it kind of blows your neuronal circuitry. That's such a thing you can't, so it creates a kind of frozen deer response, and then it allows you to believe other things that are equally ridiculous and paradoxical. So, but this is DeSantis not just being this, but even bringing it more further into intruding on our universities, intruding on our schools, intruding on our religious, even our ability to have other religious beliefs, etc. He's on a mission. He's a crusader, and he's on a mission here. And I just don't understand how it's happening. It's just so egregious and against everything that people want to believe America stands for, whatever it's standing for. There's always a belief that, freedom for justice for all, Lady Liberty, and he's wanting to take it back in time to like the 1800s or further back. So the next column, this is Trump, the devil, the orange one. Obviously he is orange, and he's burning with this anger, burning with this emotionality, and very persuasive with it. This is his core. This is his essence. On the other side of things, DeSantis is depicted as a king of swords. So the king of swords is dispassionate. He's coming from a cerebral place. He's detached from the fray, but powerful, and an autocrat, a dictator. So that's like a contrast and comparison regarding the energies of these two. And DeSantis wants to be seen as kind of a more cerebral Trump, bringing on what Trump wanted to bring on, but doing it from a place of intellect. Though I really don't think DeSantis is any big intellect, but he wants to be seen as the more reasonable, rational candidate for the head of the Republican Party instead of this. The next column is the Tower, and this is Trump, and this is Trump's involvement in the insurrection, the speech before the insurrection, not just everything, putting people in place before months and months before this ever happened, corrupting the FBI, getting everything in place, his relationship with Russia, etc., and churning up the Proud Boys and the disaffected veterans, etc., etc. This is all Trump, and continuing to this day, and this is also everything that Trump touches just gets destroyed, and everybody that is around him is brought down by this tower. Nobody's going to escape because he's going to bring everybody down. Anybody who's had anything to do with him, and we're seeing that as we watch Jack Smith come in, and I believe these indictments are coming pretty soon for Trump, but everybody else around Trump. This is the tower, not just his attempt to destroy our democratic governance, but just the destruction of everything, the destruction of any organized body, and that's what the Russians installed him for, to destroy our democracy. But this is a continuing fallout for Trump. On the other side of things is the Three of Wands here for DeSantis. So this is an interesting card, because the Three of Wands, what my guides told me about this card was that this is DeSantis behind the scenes also working for Russia, Saudi Arabia, Korea, North Korea. You see this man, there's three wands here, and then there's the ship out here that can represent foreign influence. So DeSantis isn't on his own here. He is, according to the guides, allegedly very much being groomed and funded and instructed by foreign entities that have insinuated themselves into the governance of Florida itself. And DeSantis is actually instituting Vladimir Putin's policies and beliefs. This is an integral relationship, and this is just like they did with Trump. They are also investing in DeSantis, should DeSantis become president, so he can bring in the ship, he can bring in their interests. So below the tower for Trump is the Six of Pentacles. And this is grifting. This is just everything Trump's doing is trying to grift money somehow, some way, hook or by crook, to help him continue to survive, really, because he's in dire straits in some ways financially. And this is with Don Jr., and I believe Mike Pillow and other people very much on, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Boebert, on the grifting train. This is how you bring in the money. It's all transactional. And this is what really his run for being president. It wasn't, I don't think he really wanted to run, but he had to run for this situation to continue. And it was a call, because he had to give up having a tax-free status, but he probably just put a lot of money, like Trump Organization 3 that they haven't found yet. But this is really behind everything. Just grift, because this is really where the money comes from. Probably also, still trying to barter some documents, although I think that's getting harder, some of those classified documents, because of the FBI's focus. And for DeSantis, this is also about money, but this is regarding Russia, those three powers, Russia, North Korea, and Saudi Arabia, and this dark money coming in, being laundered for nefarious purposes, and maybe DeSantis, like Trump, being this vehicle for money laundering for the oligarchs. and other countries. So they're very much behind the scene. There's again this foreign influence that is inextricably tied up with. Is that the right word? Whatever that word is bound. DeSantis is bound to this. This is where his backing is coming from. His money is coming from. These are the deals made behind the scenes, and for him, that's what's going on, and he's counting on that to help him run for president, to fund his race for government, for against whomever who's going to run for the Republican Party to become the next president. 47, God forbid. The end result here, though, however, is and they gave me 2 cards for each. This is for Trump, this is the 9 of Wands, and this is defeat. This is conceding the election. Should he, and the energies that I'm reading right now is that he will be the candidate to run for, he will be chosen as the candidate to run for president for Republicans. Which is going to be so incredibly disastrous. Do you realize you thought that the whole Roe versus Wade thing got people out? Do you know how much just Trump running for president is going to get Democrats and Generation Z out? It's going to be. I mean, it would be great if Trump did run for president, because oh my God, like it would just be no stopping people from voting. It just would just increase the amount that they would vote for. And I believe Biden's going to be running, but whomever the Democratic candidate is. But he's conceding here. And then the card for DeSantis is the 5 of Cups. So he's very disappointed because he's not getting the nomination. He's not going to be primary to be the candidate for the Republican Party, allegedly, as it is right now. That is definitely what I'm getting, and so it's heartbreak for him, because it's all he dreams of. It's all he ever wanted, and he really believes. If you look at this, he's so contemptuous of Trump. He thinks I'm so much smarter. I'm so much better. What an idiot Trump is. He's absolutely feeling superior to Trump, and he's absolutely wanting to take Trump's place. So it's going to smash his heart, his ego, his ambitions to lose. And then I actually, the guides were going to just leave the reading there, but I asked for a little bit more clarification, and I got the Death card for Trump. And I got the 10 of Swords for DeSantis. And those are kind of self-explanatory. It's the end. It's over. It's over. So that is my reading on Trump versus DeSantis. I'm so curious as to what the slow drip is, if it's a slow drip or maybe it's all at once, that Trump or Roger Stone, whomever in that that group of people, whomever's going to be the hitman, so to speak, what's going to get released and when, because Trump is just not going to allow DeSantis to best him. It's not going to, as far as whether DeSantis could or not, Trump, with his dying last breath, would end DeSantis's hopes and dreams. It's just the way it is for him. So that's my reading on Trump versus DeSantis, the lowdown. And the card that we get from the Sacred Destiny deck is Wisdom. The sacred landscape wants you to know things are not as they seem. Look beneath the surface in your life. For example, you might feel that you aren't making progress on a particular project. Yet beneath the surface, things are happening. Or you might be going through a stormy cycle. This card is letting you know that even though the surface of your life might be a bit rocky or wobbly, in a deeper place, all is well, and serenity and peace are emerging. Things that may seem challenging will later be revealed to have been beneficial. I want to remind everybody I am available for personal readings, anything in past lives, anything in the present life. I am a medium, and I love to introduce you to your guardian angels. My information is below in the description box, and if you hang on for the musical interlude, or you can even fast forward, my information is there too. I love you. I'm so glad to be able to be back home and making this video for you. Please take care and stay safe, everybody. I will be back next week, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.